Once you have this MySQL Workbench installed, we are ready to work on it. Let us first understand what is this MySQL Workbench. First, let us get started with MySQL. How do you open MySQL Workbench? You go to your Windows. As usual, you have to go to your Windows, and then let us see that process. So all of you, let's do one thing. Go to Windows, and then somewhere you will have your MySQL Workbench. Where is it? If you go here, MySQL Workbench 8.0 CE. That's what it shows to me. For you, depending on your version, the name might change. This is the one. So here is the MySQL Workbench. This is your first screen that you will get. Local root 127.0.0.1. While you are installing, you will be creating a local instance and you will be already giving a password to this. Usually root is the password for the root word that we generally tend to give, or any other password that you have given 1234 or something. You have to enter that. So click on this. After clicking on this, you enter the password. For me, the password for the root I have entered. Whatever the password that you give, that you have to enter. And for me, it is already showing some databases, but for you, it will not show any of the databases. Let me do one thing. I'll try to remove these databases. Initially, what will appear to you is, I think only sys will be the only database that you will have. Okay. What I'll try to do is, I'll try to delete these databases. Okay. How do you delete a database? There is a command called drop schema. We will get to that later on. But right now, since I already have few databases, let me try to delete them. Okay. So drop database. You can ignore this command for now because you do not have any databases to drop. Sales is one of the database that I have, and then colon. So how do you execute it? If you select it and then execute. Okay. And then that database is gone. Similarly, there is one more database that I have to drop. That is products. That also I'll try to drop it, dropped sys. Now your SQL MySQL Workbench, both of us will have the same one. Maybe you can adjust the windows. Look at this on the top right hand side corner is what I'm playing around with, but this is the one that I generally like. Okay, maybe the right hand side one you can ignore. You can play around with this. Okay, or you can ignore as it is also. Okay, now this is called workbench. Let us understand some of the basics of the workbench. So you see here LOCAL at the top. At top, whatever you see here, that is known as local instance. And on the right hand side, on the left hand side, SYS, that is known as the database or the schema. If you are creating any databases, they will actually appear here. Your databases will appear here. Okay, we're going to see that when we create some of the databases, you will see them appearing here. The tables will also appear here. And this is a place where we write the SQL scripts. Okay, we have to write the SQL commands here. Okay. And then there will be some servers, databases, queries, views, all these menu options are there. Most of them we will be using based on the need. And the bottom at bottom, action or the output. Here, my commands worked very well. There are no errors for you. If there are any errors for us later on, if I write any command, if there's any error, the error will be displayed here at the bottom, action output. So this workbench is something that you will be working in future extensively. Okay. In fact, we are going to see that in some time. You will be very comfortable with workbench after working on it for some time. Okay. This is one of the best way to interact with MySQL. Very intuitive, very easy to use. Okay. Let us start with some sample script. What you can do is you can write a query. You can write it along with me. You try to type show databases. Show me all the databases that I have. Maybe some of them are appearing here. What if this doesn't appear? What if I don't have it? How do I get all the databases? Okay. So how do you do that? You write show databases command. Then you can use both of them to execute, but try to use this second option. Can you see that? The second option, it says execute the statement under the keyboard cursor. Use that. And it worked well. For me, it shows these databases information schema, MySQL performance schema, sys. I think these are default databases that are appearing. Some of them are appearing here and some other databases are there, but they don't appear. Okay. They are not in our control. This is SYS is the database that we can see right now, some kind of default database. Okay. Show databases is the command that will show the databases. If you want to create a new database, let us write a simple command, create, create. SQL is not a case sensitive language. You can write create or create, create. Both the commands are accepted. Okay. So create whichever you are comfortable with, but be consistent. Create database and whatever is the database name, let's say sales is the database that I want to create. Okay, so then take this and then try to execute this. A new database is created. You look at this, there is a tick mark here. Don't do it right now, just wait and see. Once you have understood, then you can do it. There's a tick mark here, that means this has executed, but on the left hand side I cannot see it. You can also, where you will also face this situation that you cannot see this database that has been created. What you need to do is you have to use this refresh button. Try to use this refresh button, then you can see the sales database, but there are no tables in this database. Yes, there are no tables. We just created the database. Tables will be created by us later on. If you are creating that database, then within that database, if you want to use it and if you want to create new tables, then you have to write use this database, because there are two databases. If you're creating a new table, you have to tell SQL, MySQL, which is the database that you want to use. I want to use sales database. Once you execute it, now that will be the database that is highlighted here. Otherwise, if I say use system database, and everything that I'm going to do will be in system database. You see this bold here. If you say use sales database, sales is in bold. That means everything that we are going to do below, that will be created in sales database. Creating the data, we will get to that later. That is DML language. DDL language, sorry. Creating the data definition language is DDL. That we will get to that later. Right now, what we will do is we'll try to take an existing SQL file and try to create the database. If you want to drop a database, simply you write drop. Drop means delete. Drop database sales. If you do like that, then automatically, I think you may have already seen this, because we started with drop database only in my system. Sales is no more there. Okay. Now, if you re-execute this drop database, you will get an error. See this error at the bottom? Can't drop a database sales because it doesn't exist. So to avoid these kind of errors, there is a alternative command. You can write drop database if it exists. If exists. If you add this extra command, drop database if exists, then execute it. This will work. Why? The reason is database doesn't exist. If it exists, then it will drop. Otherwise, it doesn't exist. Okay. That is how you can create a database. There are commands for creating tables as well. But right now, we will not create tables. We will not create database using DDL language. I'll tell you a method to create a database in an automated manner. That means if there is some script using SQL script, we create the databases. What if I give you the ready-made script.sql script? Basically, if you save this file, that will be saved as .sql. If you say save as, then it will be saved as .sql format, .structured query language. It can be opened by Notepad also. I'm going to tell you a method to import the data. I have already given you a file in this session. If you go to our folder, there will be a file. What is the file name that you will have? The file name is creating underscore sales underscore db underscore dump.sql. I have given you an SQL file to be downloaded. So what you need to do right now is locate where is that file, then go to server, first observe, then you can redo it, you can replay this whole thing, then you can do it. Server data import, then it'll give you this option. Then go to the second option, import from self-contained file. Import from self-contained file. Then locate where is that file. In our folder, that file must be there. Okay. So if you go to our SQL class material, I have given you this file already, creating sales database dump.sql. This file, you must be having it with you. Or I think this is the one that I have shared. We are in right now, session 2, creating sales database dump.sql. So select that file. Once you select that file is selected. Look at this option here. A lot of people miss it. Look at this carefully. After this import from disk, right now my cursor is import progress. Can you see that import progress? Local data import, import progress. Here, follow my mouse and start import. Once you click the start import, import completed, everything works perfectly for me. What does this particular action do? What is it doing? Simply, if you go to the same location where we have imported this file from, right now we are in session 2. From session 2, you have imported this. If I go to session 2 and then go to creating database dump.sql, I tried opening using this notepad. It contains the code for creating a database called sales and it creates some tables, etc., etc. I'm not going through the details of this because later on in the DDL session, data definition language session, I'll give you clarity. There are so many things that I have to explain you. Then I'll tell you how to read this. But as of now, it's a quick and dirty way, ready-made way of creating a database so that we can work with the database. First, we will focus on the easier ones. First, we'll understand all the easy part of SQL. Then we will get into the advanced part. Okay. So what we will do right now, we have imported this. Everything worked fine for me. So how do you get to see that sales database that has been imported? You have to click this refresh button. Schemas, refresh schemas. That is known as database schema. When you refresh it, you will see sales database. Now in this sales database, there are some tables, customers, employees, officers, order details, orders, payments, products. Who created all this? The file that we gave, the SQL file, automatically we imported that data using that self-contained SQL file. Sometimes it may throw some errors. This particular step may not be perfectly working for a lot of you. If it throws the error, then observe these steps carefully, then make these changes. Not every time you will get the sales database automatically created within one shot like this. You will get the error. Okay. Once you get the error, do this. Go to database, manage connections, Then there is something called local. Look at this at the top, local. Then go to the advanced settings. Look at this, advanced. Then there is a box for other. Can you see that? Go to this advanced setting. In this others, here you may have to add this extra line, opt underscore local underscore infile equal to 1. If you go to our PPT, I have kept it also there in our PPT as well. You can take that line from here, opt underscore local underscore infile equal to 1. That is the extra line that you may have to add. Okay. Then it may work. Okay. Are you with me, everyone? You have to add this extra line. Then after adding this extra line, you may have to reboot SQL. In some cases, you may have to reboot. Reboot means close this SQL, then reopen, then try to execute, then it may work. Okay. If it throws error, if it works perfectly, then there is absolutely no problem. Okay. So what I want you to do is import this sales database. Then we are ready to go ahead because your database is ready. Our next session is on DML, data manipulation language. How many customers are there? How many employees are there? We're going to do some exciting queries. As of now, we have just created the database. In fact, later on, we are also going to see how do you actually create the database? What are the SQL commands for creating the database? But as of now, if you already have a ready-made created database, how do you interact with it is what we are going to discuss in the next session. As of now, we have created the database. We have installed MySQL. We have seen what is this workbench. Using this server data import option, we have created a database. Okay, I'll see you in the next session.